too. I would never, because there's nothing going on there. Okay, so I am going to start this video by introducing sort of a concept deity, not a programmer. Right, so on the first day of Christmas, the quantum complexity calculation was a print script within the shell. Roll. Does it say roll with a little I? So roll B, dun dun dun. On the first day of Christmas, again, we've now repeated it because we've got a 1 in second sort of fraction. Now, what do you do with a 1 in second fraction? Well, you give it a circumference, and then you give it a diameter, and then you give it a distinct curvature in space-time, so that we do have space and we do have time on a single x axis. But quantum Roby is one of these 3-4 guys. So right here we have a positronian, and right here we have a quantum dot. So whether or not Roby has an electron that's completely independent, no one really knows. Although some completely understand what I've been talking about, and some may just wander with their imagination, maybe close their eyes and just listen to music instead of listening to me babble. Now, what I've just drawn are 3 shells. Roby's going to say things. So let's start by giving this circle a square. Alright, so anyways, like I was saying, x1 and x2 in this space of which is the quantum dot. We take complexity space here. I've written it down. It looks like a little black blob. But anyways, we'll go down here and we'll show you exactly what I believe my character number 1 sketch has actually proven to the viewer, is that at the center of the pyramids here, from above, based on how many of her sides you think a pyramid exists, and as any polytope may take place, is that we have x and y all of a sudden, because we can't decipher between surface and 4th dimension. So I would just simply put 4D, as this would be an exemplar model. I would put the sound right there, and then I would just shade a little bit to say, hey, we're taking off. And then here would be the pyramid, right? The queen's chamber and the king. Now, why I've drawn this out, explaining the psi, metric, empirical data, is that it completely fits the king's chamber. All those measurements. These 2 shafts were discovered later on, after some idiot back in the 1800s chopped into the side of a massive structure. Obviously, you could look at it and be completely daunted. I mean, today you could stand at the top and like do a 360 turn, man. So basically, these people, the Jewish people, what they did is they created a hacking system to get the hell out of this tunnel here. What this tunnel is it represents 1, 2 times phi. That's how much your worth is all the time in the universe. This is approximately the age of our universe. I'll just write it like this, just so that all you coders understand what I'm talking about. It says if. I'm sorry if you, anyway, just put a little dot there. Alright, so anyways, the amount of people that could wait in this tunnel towards the queen's chamber, yeah, female. The phenomenon of pH. Whoa. Alright, so straight down They claim there's like a crystal city. Yeah. There's this tab on your phone. And you might want to press it. But there's like kinetic energy there. And there's also the thought that like the kinetic energy is radioactive. Oh, you're darn tootin'. The government wouldn't like have artificial intelligent quantum computers. Of course they would. So anyways, the strangely thing is there's 12 people in here, okay? So back to this. We ended up obviously an unfortunate demise. In which case, now we have Nakatashi Industries and Takahanahashi Industries. You must be asking yourself, what are they doing? What if all the science fiction movies, and of course, IBM, when they created quantum disturbances, interactions, and then started what? I think this electron here, single, how many electrons need a proton? How many protons need an electron? Goodness me, I know, for instance, that everything I've been saying, if that was the dot at the center of the very picture, then I guess perhaps this would be just one electron. And now we have a proton. But how did the proton get outside the electron? So like I was saying, you have one electron, you have an X and a Y axis, you have one tetraphasic component. It's not brain science. But anyways, continuing on with my story, with Datus and Datum, Nakahashi and Takahashi Industries. That is Data's profile name. That's his go-to, his QR code, his sequence, his structure, his syntax, and obviously his difficult side. See? The two sides of the brain, right and left hemispheres, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now, quantum, what I was getting at is that the pyramids was such a superstructure around the earth, and everything about the pyramids was basically about the earth too. Anyways, it's not like when it's new information that anything like even a cell has a magnetic field around it, or the dipole of the earth is not like a triangular function itself. So you have like this descending one, and obviously this pushing forth three. So you have Newton's calculus, basically a logical symbol that denotes the force. Mass won't equal anything, but all of a sudden you've got this word. Now, how many are there in, for instance, the deck of the small core cards? Well, there are 4. Okay, so 4 times 4, it's just simple to write without writing. I do it like this. I just keep having things, and if something shows up, like for instance why I can't go any further with this picture, I will then reduce it to another picture, and then kind of go whoa, what just happened? It's almost like as if I opened up the pyramids by taking out this entire portion. Why did I remove it? Why and how could I move through Ka, Mer, that entire section, and slide it that way? Which way were we going if we were sliding it that way? Well, let's look. This arrow, okay, that's cylindrical, in a quantum realm that nobody can talk about because it's all string theory, M1 stuff. You gotta be a physicist to know what physics is. And your ant crawls around this manifold structure, this timeline. knows neither one dimension, nor is aware of the fourth dimension. It just is a field. And every field that is a quantum event has to have a beginning. Well, this is what I really truly believe more, is that the pyramids could be seen not just the way we saw them, but in a technological language that was so complex that the Hebrew deity, the god, Ain, dot, then divided itself as equal reaction and action. So we have an action and reaction and God. We zoom out. Well, what else am I going to draw? Well, there's just positive and negative in the entire universe then. But what are we basing that on? Well, how do we know anything? Well, this is how I know. A man a long time ago, drunk fellow Melchizedek, communicated to me through his lecture series, a couple of books I liked, that if you just draw consecutive squares at any time of your life, and you just keep doing it like this, keep expanding on what you want, and you'll get there sooner or later. So see, I've sort of consumed the action and reaction. It's almost like as if there's an active force pushing on this side, like a gravity well. And then the gravity well here is also pushing on the pyramids here as well. How is there two G wells, two gravitational vortex spinning in opposite directions, one going that way like a positive attraction and one going the other way negatively so? Well, that's because the pyramids were at the center of a star system A, C, and B. These were trionized stars, but they're not. The nuclear fuel of A is running out, which, of course, C will absorb because it is so dense, and this thing will just puff, turn into dust, which leaves this field on its own. Where? Earth, stupid. This is action, reaction, core, iron, the iron of the center of Earth. And that's a main sequence star. I don't even have to write it down, but if this was an iron ball, if this was the sun, and it was pure fucking nitro, as in a nitrogen star, this thing would be, it would shoot right through it. It would just, because it can't absorb anything from iron. So I'm concluding that basically the pyramid, like this structure of mathematics that I drew, was actually this: me hacking in to your computer, your CPU, or whatever you've been staring at all these years, man. Because I've just been thinking about animals and how they've been tested on. Okay, he'll press the positive for the little gift. Oh, good. That's your fucking CPU, dude. So, going back to the pyramids, these are consciousness levels that can be ascended and descended. Whatever, man. Ascension, descension, whatever you think is going on, I don't care. I really don't want to know. I'm trying to explain something really important. Is that these conscious levels, Ein Sof, Ein Sofer, and then of course the 51 levels of Binah, Bechelma, Benai, only succeeded by Jesus himself ahead of Moses. Moses did what? Moses was Akhenaten. As these pyramid structures were moving off in kind of like a virtual, their own virtual hologram, Akhenaten had to sort of disseminate the crown. Why? Because he became super uber rich. He was a Hiram. And in the third degree of masonry, there is initiation with a coffin like this. Now hold your breath, folks. This is a spooky story. This they put in the middle of a massive complex. I can draw it for you. Pay attention. Now, this is never to be recorded or to be shared. So please, comments accepted only, no shares. If you share this, I will become a Shurna's arrow. Anyways, here is the building. So, this is Dominion, 4 pillars. That's the whole building. That's what they based the entire structure on. Now, if you take the whole building and you put a little staircase here and a sidewalk going by, that's about the size of the Masonic Tecumseh Lodge in Stratford. Now, here is the internal structure, and I'm going to zoom out and show you the room. Okay, so we zoom out, and this is the room. And I will continue to tell you the third degree of initiation. The coffin is set at the opposite angle, but pointed towards the south. Here. They have an initiate, but they have a series of flags here. This will bring the initiate in through a chamber door. Now, you would think this was a wall, a solid wall. You are incorrect, my friend. This is a room, a hidden room. Now, I'm going to draw it in the third dimension just to show you. Why would there be a hidden room here? Now, what is this painting on the wall? Okay. The rafters, the old lights. Zzz, bzz, bzz, bzz. Anyways, so going back to the building, on the north side, there is a legislature. There is no individual chair here. Now, think about what I've said to you. Hiram Biff, third degree initiation. I will continue on with the story. I'm just trying to give you like a sort of tone to work from. I don't want this artistic sort of license to get out there, because it's just, Masonry is a volunteer program. You know, you can donate food to people, you can help kids build their muscles, taking them camping, afford them all kinds of supplies. The children are the future. So anyways, this is where you're put in a coffin. You're led down this pathway through this door. This is the gate. It's always been the gate. Anyways, and then of course this hidden room. Why? I'll tell you. Because there is a gamut of men. I call them the guild. And they are all prepared in costumes here in this room. They crowd right in. They love it. They stand as close as like moths waiting, at night for something new to eat on the next day. So there they are waiting. And then there's like a door, and there's a key master standing here. And you have to be able to communicate the secret word to this guy so that he'll open the key to this door so that they can get in and read the script while you're buried in this coffin at the center of a building I explained that's exactly the dimensions of the entire room. Now, if that's not empirical data, I don't know what is. Okay, so at this east side, so right, we have east, like I said, south, and of course the west and north. And there's just like a microscopic sort of view on life. So you have east, south, west, north. East here, this is the king's chair. It represents also the four kings, right? You have hearts, diamonds, and kings. And then, of course, hearts represents water, diamonds represents earth, and then the spades represents, they think is really earth because it looks like a shovel, and that's what it is. They trick you, diamond and earth, because it's old alchemy. And then, of course, your final clubs. So this is the king of clubs, hearts, diamonds, and spades. See? Clubs, hearts, diamonds, spades. Now that is a triangle. Now there is he will sit here on the east gate, and every master, once he's reached his masters, will be given a trial of a certain period of time to sit in this east gate. Now, could you imagine? You're watching this entire play. Here's the red carpet that you came in on, and there's a guy that's been put in like a box, and they're reciting these guys out here who've been prepared in like white robes come in past the gatekeeper to stand around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. They're ancient ones to read a script that they've all memorized from a tiny little book that's based on the Tanya. Okay, like, who cares, right? Well, little genie in the book Aladdin's lamp, he cared. So, basically, this is the temple. This is the dimensions of it. I'm not freaking kidding. I studied this for so long that it is a perfect fucking square. This whole thing. The fractionated system is this room. It then becomes elongated through a golden mean sort of relationship to everything going on. And, this might even be the placement of the first guild member who's recently been initiated. Next, higher, height, major, minor. Minor, major, inueptuos, inacceptus. So, prognosticators of prognosticators, please, when I say that there was an ancient one who had a square, and whatever this is, well, I'm going to get data, okay, to meet up with Datus. And they are living where? These white marks represent electricity. These are their consciousnesses. And somehow they create a link to each other's complexity space. And one of them's going to live, and one of them's going to die. That's it.